I'm not the agent for or not the agent on the planning commission file, but I'm not aware of nobody's tried to contact me about it.
I just thought maybe, the one that you're representing may have told you so about anybody, filing against it or anything like that. So thank you anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Ross? Thank you. Anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of Ordinance 86? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak against Ordinance 86? Sir, if you would, please come forward. Give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I don't need that much. My name's Bill Ely. I do live on Tiny Town Road, just down from where this change might take place. I did submit comments to the Planning Commission. I didn't realize I should have gone in person and also made comments there, but I did submit comments prior. I'd like to thank the council and the mayor for letting us comment. I'd also like to thank Mr. Zacharias for keeping us informed. We're a small neighborhood there. We've been there for many, many years. My wife and I, we've raised a family there. We've seen a lot of changes on Tiny Town Road, apartments, commercial products or commercial real estate and businesses, et cetera. I'm just thinking, rather than tear down a perfectly good residential building, home, and put up maybe 4 small, whatever they plan to do, there's got to be hundreds of places in the city already zoned commercial where those businesses could be established. I think there's some other places further down Tiny Town Road that are built, but I don't think they're occupied, but they may already have plans to occupy it. So just, that's maybe selfish on my part, but we've lived there for many, many years, and I'd like to keep it residential, not commercial. Thank you.
Thank you. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Did you say Ely is your last
Yeah,
name?
EHLY,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. These old ears aren't here tonight.
mine too.
Councilman McLaughlin, you're recognized.
Thank you. Mr.
Oh.
Ely, just to let you know that your comments were provided to us in our packet with the
Oh,
documentation.
thank you, okay,
So you don't have to worry about that. We did get
Okay.
it. And thank you for providing the information for
okay,
us.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Ely? Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Mayor, how close would this be to your property?
From the current property that's, I guess, under consideration, there's one other home, and then there's our home. So maybe a couple hundred yards,
Okay.
pretty close. We're just down from Fire Station 7, for any Fire Station 7 people here, thank you. We have nice, good coverage there.
All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Ely? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak against Ordinance 86? Next item on our public hearing agenda is item D, Ordinance 87. I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Clerk and everybody. Takes a village apparently to raise me, so. No, too late. Thanks for keeping me humble. All right. All right, with an elbow. All right. We offer an opportunity for rebuttal on Ordinance 86. If you're in favor of Ordinance 86 and wish to offer rebuttal, we ask you to come forward. We have one person, 3 minutes each. Mr. Ross, if you would give us your name for the record again.
Thank you, Mayor. Stanley Ross. Just to go back to the question that was asked before, my client has not confirmed my client. They were not directly contacted either. I would assume any comments were sent to the Planning Commission for their file. Just to kind of address one thing that was the negative comment or the comment against the rezoning. Tiny Town Road has changed, and that's part of the reason for this request. And if you go back and look at the comprehensive land use plan that this council has passed that included a future land use amendment plan or opinion map in that kind of says this is what we think this needs to be in the future. This is the use that's compliant with that. This area is now I believe it's called a commercial industrial hybrid. So this zone is compliant with that future land use opinion map and that comprehensive land use plan. Any further questions?
Questions for Mr. Ross? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If you're against Ordinance 86 and wish to offer sir rebuttal, we invite you to come forward. We have one place for one person. All right. From the back of the room. All right. Thank you. We're now ready for item D, Ordinance 87, 2024-25, an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of Tanya Bosley, Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor of ordinance 87? Mr. Ross, give us your name. You have 5 minutes.
Stanley Ross, again. I'm here representing the applicant on this matter. The agent on this application was actually my law partner, Larry Riccone. He could not be here regrettably today, so I'm here in his stead. But we are asking, this is a tract of 4.41 acres on Rossview Road. It's near the next to the entrance to the Rossview School Complex. We are asking to go from R1 to C2. The potential buyer on that property is a client of ours. He mainly deals in retail centers, and his proposal for that property is a retail center on the frontage of Rossview Road with a daycare center behind that. I think daycare is probably a need that needs to be addressed in that area. There's a lot of area on Rossview Road that seems to be kind of underserved. So when we were brought this opportunity by our client, Mr. Riccone met with the Planning Commission staff, gave them a rundown of the project, and C2 was determined to be the appropriate zone to get this project moving. And according to like I mentioned on the previous case, this is appropriate for the land use plan, and the future land use opinion map complies with both of those. Now, there's always, like any case, there's always concerns. We've had a traffic study done. There's minimal impact on that. Traffic study was accepted by the street department. No negative comments is my understanding. I know there's always some questions when you're near a school like that. What's the access going to be? Right now, we don't have any plans to access through the school's entrance. Usually they don't, that's kind of their call. They don't typically allow that, so we haven't tried to work on that or anything. And the other, I guess the elephant in the room is the C2 zone, and that's because it allows for apartments. This particular piece of property, I'd like to say, I don't think it really fits apartments. The northwest 1/3 of this property is wetlands, so that wetland, the associated buffers kind of prevent the use of an extensive portion of the property, which would make apartments kind of not as profitable, not as feasible on this particular tract. Mr. Riccone and I have dealt with this potential buyer. His name's Suresh Perel. He's got retail centers on Highway 76, across from the hospital, on Dunlop, on Tinytown, and that's what he deals in. He's not a big apartment guy. So we're pretty confident, and I come up here saying that knowing I'm going to have to come back in front of you at some point in the future and tell you something else. In fact, I was here 2 months ago and I had a C2 and I told you we want to put 300 apartments on it. That didn't go well, but this one, I'm pretty confident that my client fully intends to follow through with this. He tried on a different tract over off of International Boulevard, and given the fact that there's a 4-building daycare over there, that didn't work out. So we would just ask you to approve this particular request, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Councilman Shekinah, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'm in favor of this, and I've spoke to Mr. Riccone at length about this project. My question was, why C2? I want to ask you that. Why C2? Why not C5?
My understanding is that Mr. Riccone had a meeting with the Planning Commission staff prior to submitting this particular application, explained to them what they were doing, and they said C2 is the appropriate zone for this. So I don't know more particulars about that, but that's my understanding.
Okay. So I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to say it on this microphone. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to support this, but if some apartments pop up over there, you can bet you for the next 2 years, I'm not voting for anything that's dealing with apartments in Ward 11, all right, especially off of Rossview Road. So I'm going to take your word. I told Larry I'm going to take his word for it, and we're going to see. But if I'm betrayed on this one, it won't happen again.
I understand, and we'll pass that along to Mr. Burrell, too.
Any other comment or question for Mr. Ross? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor of Ordinance 87? Anyone in the audience wish to speak against Ordinance 87? Next item is item E, Ordinance 89, 2024-25, An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of Meon Holdings. Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor of ordinance 89? A familiar face, if you would, please give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Heather Fleming. I'm here for Meon Holdings. We're asking you guys to rezone this property off of Industrial Boulevard. It's 2 acres. It's currently M1. We're asking to go to C5 to be more complementary to the area. This area has transitioned over time, and really the majority of the uses around the neighboring properties are office, retail, daycare, and we have fitness facilities. We're asking for C5. These are 2 existing vacant buildings to be fitness-type facilities. So think a training facility or maybe indoor courts. I'm not going to say pickleball, but something in that vein. M1 is no longer the highest and best use for this property, and really I don't think would complement the surrounding neighboring properties. We also don't believe that it would negatively impact the area. We did have a trip generation study done on this when we originally submitted this to the Regional Planning Commission. It was submitted to the street department. They accepted it. I've talked to Chris Cowan at the street department, and he said that he feels this is no significant impact, this zone change. So, and the other piece that I'll bring up, because Councilman Brown brought it up last week, is about 5 years ago, this was a gymnastics facility. It burned down, and 2 new facilities were built on the property, and the use for this property that people want is a C5 type use. These 2 buildings are warehouse or large empty building type facilities. They are not conducive to retail. So there is no anticipation that these will be retail facilities. So we're asking that you support this, and if you have any questions.
We have questions. Councilman Lovato?
Thank you, Mayor. I have questions and I have concerns. One thing, in the RPC packet, it is listed that the surrounding area is no longer conducive for this, but everything surrounding us is M1. So can you elaborate what you mean by that?
Apparently, recently, the city changed its practices in providing business licenses. I think before, they did not look at zoning to provide business licenses. So a lot of these properties around there, like the office use, is non-conforming. But that kind of changed. I think there's been some kind of relooking at how that's done. And so in order for the businesses who want to go onto our property to get a business license, it has to be zoned appropriately. In the past, maybe that wasn't the case.
With this property that you're wanting rezoned, are those buildings going to be owner occupied or tenant occupied?
Tenant. They would be tenant occupied.
Okay, so here's my concern. I am not opposed to something with lighter traffic going there, but with C5, that opens the opportunity for high traffic businesses to go in. And so in the unfortunate event, your first tenant doesn't make it in business, what comes next? So I understand that Mr. Cowan was supportive that this would not add a lot of traffic to that area. Looking to the future and what could be is a concern, because that road that it's going on, it does come out on Wilma Rudolph, and there's no light there, there's no intersection, so you're going to have people trying to turn left onto Wilma Rudolph for there, and that's going to be a nightmare. And then on the other side, you have West Dunbar Cave Road, and that is right next to the DMV. And anyone who drives there in the morning and afternoon like I do understands that West Dunbar Cave frequently gets blocked because people are trying to get into the DMV. The DMV should probably update their parking lot. I don't know. Then on the other side, you do have the intersection that by the gas station, but that also gets backed up. So my concern, I would love to see another gym there. I would hope that the RPC would hurry up with their rezoning rewrite and include this feedback. So I'm sorry, I'm still a no vote. I support what you're doing. I just, for the future, that area is not good for C5. I'm sorry.
And just to respond to those concerns, I will tell you that Meon Holdings, you see them around town, he doesn't like to sell. So he usually holds on to properties. And it would take a significant build out of these two brand new vacant buildings for them to be really anything other than what we're proposing. But that's really all I can say. I will say, please do not, I understand that there is a zoning rewrite, and I do understand the RPC feels like they're going to create a hybrid that would fit our use, but we're asking not to wait 9 months for these two buildings to be vacant and to be of use to the surrounding areas.
Councilman Brown, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh, Ms. Fleming, I just wanted to say that, this is in my ward and I do support this. A lot of those businesses around there are like heating and cooling companies that provide services. They're not so much manufacturing. As for the traffic concerns, I wouldn't go down toward Wilma Rudolph and try and turn left out of there when you could go to Dunbar Cave and use the traffic light. As for the driver's license testing center, I was told the other day the new one is supposed to open in July. So of course, this second reading would be in July when that second driver's license testing center is supposed to open, which will help alleviate some of that traffic on that road from everybody trying to go to the one place, not necessarily the one location, but we have some satellite locations, but we'll have that brand new driver's license testing center at exit 11 at that time. And, I think a lot of people will go there just so they can see the new one. But, I see what Jan's wanting to do with this, and I support it.
Thank you.
Any other comment or question for Ms. Fleming? Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor of Ordinance 89? Anyone in the audience wish to speak against Ordinance 89? Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we go back into regular session.
Motion been made and properly seconded to revert to regular session without objection. We're now in regular session. Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor. As a reminder, based on advice from our legal counsel, all motions we made in the form of approval. Ordinance 68, 2024, 25, first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of Hunter Wynn for a zone change on property south of Sladen Circle as R1 Single Family Residential District to R2 Single Family Residential District. Both the Regional Planning Commission and the staff recommended disapproval. I make a motion for approval.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of Ordinance 68. Comment or question regarding Ordinance 68? Councilman Holloman, you recognize.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm just make a few points on this. So we've talked about this time and time again, so I'm just going to keep beating the dead horse, I guess. But it's R2 and a sea of R1. There are zone changes like way further up the road, but it doesn't directly affect this neighborhood. This is an R1 neighborhood. And if you served on this council longer than, 4 years, you know for a fact on how they will rezone one property in a certain area in a neighborhood, like how it was with R6 when we first got R6 going. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, well, look, here's more R6, so this justifies more R6. And this is the same example with R2. And we just don't want it. We don't want any more drainage issues. We've already had drainage issues up the road in Greenland Farms. And so, I just like to ask everyone to please vote no. Thank you.
Councilman McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mayor. In an effort to try to limit my comments on zoning cases, this will be a similar comment for the first four ordinances. I can't in good faith vote for something based on what somebody is going to tell me that they're going to do, because we need to focus on what the zoning classification is. We've seen property change hands after zoning classifications and somebody else is holding it, and that is not what we've been told they're going to do, is what is not built. We can't vote based on conditional zoning. So I caution everybody for that. It would be nice if we had something in writing, which is not legal, that says we will build X, this will be what the facade looks like, but there's not a design overlay for this area, and there aren't any for the following ones as well. So it'd be nice to have a health clinic on Tiny Town Road. It would be nice to have the houses in this area look like the other ones, but we have no guarantees. So when we vote on a zone change, we're voting for everything that's possible within there without us being able to say it must match what's there. And so, for that reason, I will be voting no. It should stay R1 like the rest of the houses in this area. Thank you.
Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I do greatly appreciate Commissioner Smith coming here and speaking today, and I also appreciate Mr. Welch and what he said and what his intentions are for developing, and I completely get it. It's one additional house going from 3 to potentially 4. However, I have to stay consistent with what I have done on multiple occasions, and just as others said before me, you're looking at a sea of R1 here. We've heard from previous people that have come before us and asked for rezoning, and they've asked us to be consistent, and is what I'm trying to do and stay with what I've done before. So for me, again, I appreciate what they're trying to do, and I appreciate what was said tonight, and it did give me pause for a moment, but as I sat here and kept thinking about it, while we moved through everything else, I still can't change how I felt on previous cases. And when it's that much R1, I just can't make that change. So thank you.
Any other comment or question regarding Ordinance 68? Councilman Brown, you're recognized.
So I used to live on Hillwood, and I know that those zoning of that R4 up at the beginning of Hillwood was never actually an entrance to Hillwood until they got the rear part of it. Then they connected it to Hillwood. So when they first built those apartments, they wasn't attached on Hillwood until they extended it farther back, and then they connected it. So, to me, that's a different section. That's not this subdivision. So, as for me, I just have to stick with the R1 for this area, so it stays consistent.
Thank you. Any more comment or question regarding this ordinance? Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to say that I want to thank Miss Bailey, the young lady that came forth, and Miss, I think, Stryker, who stood up for their community because they live over that way in that area and they know what's needed. And so based up off of their comments and the support of the community against this, I will be doing the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comment or question regarding Ordinance 68? Hearing none, seeing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
0 yes, 13 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 68 fails. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 78, 2024, 25, first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of David Merrill for a zone change on property located on the northeast corner of Tiny Town Road and Tobacco Road intersection from R1A Single Family Residential District to C5 Highway and Arterial Commercial District. Both the Regional Planning Commission and the staff recommended disapproval. I make a motion for approval.
Motion's been made and properly seconded in favor of Ordinance 78. Comment or question regarding Ordinance 78? Councilman Zacharias, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Merrill, as I was explaining, or as we were talking about right before the meeting, if it were possible to somehow vote in favor of this conditionally upon a medical building or something going in there, I would absolutely support it. I do agree with some of the comments that have been made that I think that Tiny Town has probably outgrown its effective use as a residential street address. But in this case, C5 is C5, and that's what we're being asked to consider. We're being asked to consider anything that could possibly go on C5. And because of the requirement levied that the entrance to any development on this property would have to come not from Tiny Town, but from internal to the neighborhood itself, that is enough for me to have to vote no on this. Thank you.
Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the comments before me. In fact, the mentioning that it would have to come from internal, not only just internal, as far as Tobacco Road. The street department had said it would be Iris Lane where it would have to connect. So that's as deep in there as you can get as far as for connecting to it. And I'll be honest, the mentioning of it being a medical office gave me further concern because that's even more traffic that could be going in and out of there trying to get to it and adding into that neighborhood since the connection wouldn't be on Tiny Town Road or Tobacco Road. So I'm the same way. This is one I cannot support. Thank you.
Councilman McLaughlin, you're recognized.
Just to add on to what the previous commenters stated, I was here when this property and the one adjacent to it were up for rezoning before, probably 875 years ago. But the big concern is what the previous speaker mentioned was the access to the established neighborhood. This is a really unique lot that has 3 roads around it. And there's no guarantees that the neighborhood would be protected. And this parcel actually sits back in the neighborhood, not just on the frontage, and that is a concern. And so I'll be voting no for that reason and also the one I mentioned before. Thank you.
Any other comment or question regarding ordinance 78? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
1 yes, 12 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 78 fails. Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 86, 2024, 25, first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of Audrey Short Rothenstein for a zone change on a parcel fronting on the south frontage of Tiny Town Road, 335 plus or minus feet east of Pembroke Road and Tiny Town Road from A Airport to C5 Highway and Arterial Commercial District. The Regional Planning Commission and the staff voted in favor of approval, and I so move.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of ordinance 86. Comment or question? Councilman Zacharias, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. This is tough. I met with the developers. I like the plan. You just heard me say that I think Tiny Town has outgrown its use as a residential street address. I left that meeting and I told you that I supported this. And I do. But when I stood right there and applied for this seat, a former council member asked me, in situations where your personal opinion conflicts with that of the people that you represent, who are you going to support? And even though I'm pretty sure Wallace Red isn't paying attention, he's not going to know. I would. I had 3 people come to me, including the property owner of the directly adjoining property, and asked me to vote no. And for that reason, I will vote no on this. But it's a good plan. Thank you.
Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. I am in support of this one. We're looking at it. It's right there, close to the light. As was talked about, there's the possibility of then connecting with the other, and I just clicked on the wrong one. I apologize. There's the possibility of connecting with it to where it could go right there into the light. Tiny Town has become a very commercial area. And this is one where it's not going to be connecting into a neighborhood. It's connecting directly onto Tiny Town. And I mean, talking about changing it from A zoning is not even a zone that we have anymore. So I'm going to support this one, especially because I know there was a concern with the lot beside it when it was talked about going to C2, and the concern was it's still allowed for the opportunity of residential being built there and apartments being built there. This is C5. There's not the ability for apartments to be built there. So like I said, in this one, I am going to be voting in favor of it.
Councilman Chandler, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Looking at the map of this, this property doesn't line up with Pembroke Road. It's offset. The only entrances and exits you'll be able to have will be directly on Tiny Town Road. Right behind it is a cluster of houses And, you know, we just voted no on one down the road a little way. And I heard, well, traffic concerns and stuff like that. Pembroke Road, that intersection is a very busy intersection. And I just can't see how, you know, if it was more aligned to the left in that R1A area, that was straight across, I could probably go for it. But I just don't see how it can line up with anything over there. So I'll be voting no.
Councilman Zacharias, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out that I do live in that neighborhood right behind the property. When I did talk to the residents about the property on the other side of this street, and this is just for, you know, full transparency, for the C2 property that my colleague from Ward 10 mentioned, their response was they were okay with it if it was pure commercial. They were not okay with it if there was the opportunity for residential mixed with commercial. And again, that's me speaking as a resident of that neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comment or question regarding Ordinance 86? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
8 yes, 5 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 86 passes. Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 87, 2024, 25, first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of Tanya Bosley for a zone change on a parcel fronting on the north frontage of Rossview Road, approximately 500 plus or minus feet east of the Dunbar Cave Road and Rossview Road intersection from R1 Single Family Residential District to C2 General Commercial District. Both the Regional Planning Commission and the staff recommended approval, and I so move.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of Ordinance 87. Councilman Shekinah, you're recognized.
All right, this is mine. Again, just being consistent and, you know, I want the daycare there. I've heard from constituents, a lot of them think, well, many of them think it's a good idea for the daycare. But my only concern, and it's a real concern, is that there is a possibility that things can go bad with this deal. And now it's C2 and some apartments can go there. That's my only thing. So, if we're gonna be consistent, you know, I want it. I definitely want to do it, but I'm going to go with my gut, and my gut says, you know, follow the protocol. If they want to just do strictly commercial, then let them zone for strictly commercial. But if there's a possibility of residential in there, apartments in there, and I know no one on Rossview Road wants apartments on Rossview Road until Rossview Road is a four-lane road all the way down from the interstate to Warfield. And that's not going to happen anytime soon, so there should be no possibility of more apartments anytime soon on Rossview Road. So I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to vote no, and I'm going to ask all of you to vote no. Thank you.
Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I am going to say that I did ask Mr. Riccone last week. I think I spoke about this last week, but I asked him at the Regional Planning Commission because when I served with him on the Regional Planning Commission, Mr. Riccone was very much against when it was brought forward as C2 with the intention of it being apartments. And he very quickly stated, just as we heard tonight, that they had zero intention of building apartments there. But I'm still going to stay in favor of this because one thing with it being C5 right there, I know that we've voted for other C5s on the other side, but I think the Regional Planning Commission, when they met with the agent and they were discussing it, the reason they didn't recommend C5 is because of what can go in a C5 and it being directly in front of the school there. They were opposed when it was C5 on the other side, and we voted in favor of it being C5. But one thing I do want that I've said more than once, and I know other council members have said this as well, I do want the Regional Planning Commission to absolutely take to heart what we are saying up here regarding C2 and the possibility of apartments going in there. As they are looking to do this zoning rewrite, that has to be something that is looked at very closely and very much considered in how that is going to be written for us to be able to sit up here and vote. So I had to add that little extra piece on it while it was right here in front of us.
Councilman Shekinah, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I just asked the rest of the council members to vote no. Thank you.
Anyone else have a comment or question regarding ordinance 87? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All in members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
6 yes, 7 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 87 fails. Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 89, 20, 24, 25, first reading. An ordinance, sorry, I wanted to make sure I was on the right one. An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of Milan Holdings LLC for a zone change on a lot fronting on the west frontage of Industrial Drive, 390 plus or minus feet north of the West Dunbar Cave Road and Industrial Drive intersection from M1 Light Industrial District to C5 Highway and Arterial Commercial District. The Regional Planning Commission staff recommended disapproval. The Regional Planning Commission voted in favor of approval. I motion for approval.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of ordinance 89. Any comment or question regarding ordinance 89? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
10 yes, 3 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 89 passes. First reading. Councilman Streetman.
That concludes my report, Mayor.
All right, we're ready for the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the consent agenda.
All items in this portion of the agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and may be approved by one motion. However, a member of the council may request that an item be removed for separate consideration under the appropriate committee report. Ordinance 66, 2024-25, second reading. An ordinance amending the official code of the city of Clarksville, Title 12, Streets and Other Public Ways and Places, Chapter 1, in general, Section 12-124, sidewalks, to make sidewalks mandatory for any new development along newly constructed public roads and along dedicated permanent roadway easements in all zoning districts with the exception of districts zoned M2 and M3 industrial. Ordinance 74, 2024-25, second reading. An ordinance transferring certain real property from the city of Clarksville to New Vision renovations for the purpose of a sewer pump station. Ordinance 75, 2024-25, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to conduct negotiations and enter into an agreement for the purchase of easements and/or rights of way, or should negotiations fail, to pursue condemnation through the use of eminent domain for the acquisition of property for a public purpose for Needmore Road improvement projects. Ordinance 80, 2024-25, second reading. An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and map of the city of Clarksville, application of William Ballou for a zone change on property located south of Tiny Town Road from R2 Single Family Residential District, R4 Multiple Family Residential District, and C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to C5 Highway and Arterial Commercial District. Ordinance 81, 2024-25, second reading. An ordinance amending the city zoning ordinance of the city of Clarksville as it pertains to penalties and violations thereof. Resolution 61, 2024-25, a resolution approving appointments to the Airport Liaison Board, Designations Board, Economic Development Council, Human Relations Commission, and Regional Airport Authority. Resolution 62, 2024-25, a resolution approving a certificate of compliance for sale of wine in a food store at Triple M Market, located at 2514 Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, and the adoption of minutes from May 1st.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll entertain a motion and a second on the consent agenda, properly motioned and properly seconded. Any member wish to be recognized on the consent agenda? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
13 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
The consent agenda is adopted. Thank you. Now ready for the Finance Committee report. Chairman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 59, 2024, 25, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Clarksville, Tennessee, to approve issuance of tax-exempt revenue bonds or other tax-exempt debt by the Health and Educational Facilities Board of the Government of Nashville and Davidson County, Tennessee, for the benefit of Vanderbilt University Medical Center. The Finance Committee voted in favor of approval, and I so move.
Easy for you to say. Motion's been made and properly seconded in favor of Resolution 59. Any comment or question regarding this resolution? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
13 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Resolution 59 is adopted. Chairman Streetman.
Resolution 60, 2024, 25, a resolution appointing an interim director of finance for the City of Clarksville. The Finance Committee voted in favor of approval, and I so move.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of Resolution 60. Any comment or question regarding Resolution 60? It is customary for the interim CFO to sing her school fight song. I guess not. Okay, she has no idea. All right. Buy lunch. Okay, all right. Well, that was city funds. All right. Okay, all right. Every member, please cast your vote. All right, one of those. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
13 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Resolution 60 is adopted. Congratulations, Ms. Wilcox, and thank you. Chairman Streetman.
Mayor, that concludes all my reports.
All right, thank you. We're ready for Gas and Water Committee. Chairman McLaughlin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. The Clarksville Gas and Water Department is excited to announce that 3 children of their employees were awarded scholarships from the Tennessee Gas Association Scholarship Fund. The fund was founded in 1997, and the scholarship program was established to provide financial assistance to children of employees who are TGA members seeking higher education and residing in the state of Tennessee. The winners for 2025 that are children of our employees are Caden Slaughter, son of Brandy, who is the Executive Administrative Assistant of the Gas and Water Department. He was awarded the Daniel C. Hicks Scholarship in the amount of $3,000. Evan Craven, son of John Craven, who is a gas measurement tech too, received the Leslie B. Enoch Scholarship in the amount of $3,000. Katrina Evans, daughter of Scott Evans, a facilities custodian, received a $2,000 scholarship. The Gas and Water Department is very excited for the future of these young people. The summer issue of the Gas and Waters magazine, The Service Line, has been delivered to customers. This edition includes the mandatory annual drinking water report, and the magazine will be utilized in the future for other important information about the Gas and Water Department initiatives and resources. In the future, you're receiving these in the mail. It's also accessible, full edition, on the Clarksville Gas and Water's landing page on their website. And I believe, Mayor, that does conclude my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any comment or question regarding this committee report? Thank you. You are recognized.
Oh, okay. Thank you for such a good report. So the employees' children are allowed to get $3,000. That's what the scholarship is for their children.
You are recognized, Chairman McLaughlin.
Thank you for recognizing me. So, a lot of different organizations across the state have scholarship funds, and to be eligible for this scholarship fund, you have to be a child of a gas and water utility employee who is a member of the organization. So yes, this is not city funds. These funds come from a standalone organization that supports the future of the children of their organization.
Okay. All right. Just want to make that publicly known. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're now ready for the Neighborhood and Community Services Committee report. Chairman Shekinah, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. The Clarksville Neighborhood and Community Services Committee meeting, which is scheduled for the 9th of June, has been canceled. The next meeting will be on Monday, the 14th of July at 4:30 in the City Hall Conference Room, 4th floor. The Homeless Coalition, known as the Canopy Initiative, met on the 3rd of June. The group worked to refine its mission and committees. The organization also discussed cooling shelter opportunities. A full list of locations, showers, and laundry services will be shared in the coming weeks. The Canopy Initiative meets monthly on the second Tuesday. So to be included in the coalition distribution group, feel free to send your email to the Community and Neighborhood Services at community@cityofclarksville.com. That's community@cityofclarksville.com. And you can be added to the distro list to be filled in with updates on the Canopy Initiative. Also, the programs teams has issued their final payment warranty for the home ARP grant. There's only enough funding to sustain the current 90-plus clients for the final 12 months of the program. The new rental assistance program will open July 1st. It will be similar, a 12-month rental assistance program with wraparound services. It will focus on the most vulnerable citizens, individuals that are 62 and over, and then families with children. So stay tuned for more information about that. Also, we have the project team. Currently has 40 clients in various stages of home rehabilitation. There will be a community meeting on the 26th of June at 9 a.m. at South Central Village Senior Living Facility. The purpose of this meeting is to meet with those residents and connect them to community leaders and community resource providers. So if you're interested in attending, please let someone from Community, Neighborhood, and Services know by emailing them. That email, again, is community@cityofclarksville.com. Or you can contact the director, Michelle Austin. The city has created a webpage for residents impacted by the floods, including a subpage specific for Woodstock neighborhood. The general impact page will be updated monthly or as needed. The Woodstock page will be updated weekly with the notification to those impacted. They're looking at addressing flash flood impact residents and Woodstock residents page. And then finally, we all know that the Salvation Army shelter is closed. It is still closed for our unhoused residents. While it's open in the daytime for cooling and for showers and laundry, the people have no place to sleep at nighttime, so they're just on the streets. There are other organizations out in the community that are working to try to stand up some type of sheltering entity, and that's a challenge. So for us, what we really should think about is to really look at how we can get the Salvation Army back on its feet, since they already have a location to facilitate that particular need. So if you would like more information on that, or if you would like to be part of a think tank or even contribute to that, again, just contact community@cityofclarksville.com. That concludes my report, Mayor.
All right, good report. Any comment or question regarding this committee report? We're now ready for Parks and Recreation Committee. Chairman Zacharias, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 85, 2024-25, an ordinance amending Title II, Alcoholic Beverages, Chapter 1, Beer of the Official City Code to amend Section 2-105, Classes of Permits, Subparagraph 4, Special Events Permit. I make a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion been made and properly seconded.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to turn it over to Councilman Brown. I'm sorry,
Councilman,
my colleague from Ward 9.
Councilman Brown, you are the sponsor. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to the committee and all for this. What this is this is just changing one number in this ordinance, and this was brought to me by a business that is in my ward. And what has happened, which I've explained before, is they had an event scheduled that they were being a part of. The event got postponed due to weather for 1 week. Well, their special event beer permit was no longer valid because it's only valid for 5 days. So this is just changing that from 5 days to 14 days. The permit is still only valid for a specific date and a specific time frame. That way, if that date gets postponed, if that permit's for 1 day, it's only still a 1 day permit. They can't use that permit 14 times during that time frame. So this is just to, to help them. So with all the inclement weather that we've had, to be able to not be out thousands of dollars for product and equipment for an event.
You've heard the explanation. Any comment or question regarding this ordinance? You did a good job, apparently.
That concludes my report.
He was waiting all night to say that. All right. All right, hearing none, seeing no other question, all members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
13 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Ooh, that was close. Ordinance 85 passes first reading. Chairman Zacharias.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the following Parks and Recreation report. Parks and Rec invites you to gear up for an action-packed day of fitness, fun, and wellness at the 2025 Fit Fest. Join us on Saturday, June 14th. By the way, happy 250th birthday to the United States Army on that day. From 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Liberty Park for a high-energy celebration featuring interactive fitness demos, wellness resources, and activities for all ages. Highlights include a 1-mile fun run, a ninja obstacle course, and a sunset yoga class, and much more. Mayor's Summer Night Lights is back. This program offers events at various locations across Clarksville from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday from now until July 29th. Each week features a fun new theme packed with activities for all ages. On June 10th, join us at Edith Pettis Park for Wild World of Sports. There will be laser tag, a free throw competition, and a Gaga pit. And you do not know nervous or anxiety until you have Googled Gaga pit from a school-issued computer while connected to city Wi-Fi during a Parks and Rec meeting.
That sounds like a bad choice.
And then finally, if you're interested in joining the Parks and Rec team, we are hiring the following part-time positions. These are seasonal positions: gym assistant, Parks and Rec instructor, special events setup and maintenance, or a weekend facilities manager. And we have one full-time position available as an administrative support technician. And as always, for more information and a complete list of programs, classes, and ongoing activities, visit ClarksvilleParksRec.com or check out the app. Thank you. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Any comment or question regarding this department report? Seeing none, hearing none, we're ready for Public Safety Committee. Chairman Lovato, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 83, 2024-25, an ordinance amending the official code of the City of Clarksville, Title IV, Building, Utility, and Housing Codes, Chapter 6, Property Maintenance Code, to provide needed updates, add provisions regarding penalties, and clarify requirements for parking in commercial and residential zones.
Motion been made. Do I hear a second? Properly seconded.
I'd like to give it to the sponsor for explanation, please.
Councilman McLaughlin, you're the sponsor. You're recognized.
Thank you. There's actually an amendment that was passed around, and it is to clarify the misunderstanding that I had and was concerned about last week, that this might be perceived as the rewrite to the parking ordinance. I'll make a motion to approve, to propose the amendment.
Second.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of the amendment. You're recognized for an explanation.
Thank you. So the only change from what we saw last week is in the heading, the word parking is crossed out and replaced with property maintenance. And again, this is to clarify things in the property maintenance code so there are consistencies between property maintenance on the commercial side and the residential side. This also will give the city judge the ability to impose a $50 fine per day if needed to resolve longstanding codes violations.
You've heard the explanation. Any comment or question regarding the amendment? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote on the amendment? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
12 yes, 1 no, 0 abstain.
The amendment is adopted. We're back on Ordinance 83 as amended. Any comment or question regarding the ordinance as amended? Councilman McLaughlin, no words? Okay. All right.
I said I know it's rare.
Okay. All right. Are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
12 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain.
Ordinance 83 as amended is adopted. First reading. Chairman Lovato, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Going into department reports, I will start with Building and Codes. Construction Division did over 3,500 total inspections. Our Code Enforcement Division did 377 new cases. Our Abatement Division did 38 work orders, and their total revenue generated was almost $396,000 for the month. We'd also like to congratulate Valerie Ogle and Bob Kendrick for receiving certificates of completion for the MTAS Institute for Public Service. Building and Codes also hosted dinner for the first Mayor Summer Night Lights that was held last night, and I hear that it was great. Or I'm sorry, it was June 3rd. Building and Codes Construction Division worked a booth at CMCSS Middle School Career Exploration Event, and the Code Enforcement attended the APSU STEM Expo. Our Clarksville Police Department participated in a flag football tournament at APSU and won first place. The Teen Clarksville Police Academy will begin June 23rd. It has already filled up for the year. Teens will report to CPD every day for a week to better understand the facets of law enforcement. Hop with a Cop is coming up on June 12th from 2 to 4 at Sky Zone. No sign up is required, so just come on out. And then we also have a major promotion and retirement ceremony coming up on Wilma Rudolph Event Center, June 24th at 10 a.m. These are the folks who are about to retire. Deputy Chief Rick Stalter, Captain James Smith, Sergeant Bert Kleinard, Sergeant Brett Norfleet. Oh, he's not even in here.
Would you ask him to come in, please? Thank you. Go ahead, Chairman Lovato.
Oh.
You're recognized, sir.
You know, my dad had a saying, any day you learn something's a good day. And I've had the honor to work up here. And every time I've been here, I've learned something. It's been an honor to serve at yours and the chief's pleasure. I can leave with my head held high. Because what I realized early on is that this job is bigger than I'll ever be. This job is truly about serving the citizens. And that's what I've tried to do for 30 years. I love you guys. Thank you.
Well, with your permission, Chairman Lovato, I think we may have some comments from members of the council. Councilman Zacharias, did you wish to say something? Lead us off?
Do we get to vote on his retirement? Because
I'll accept a motion in a second. Motion been made and properly seconded to wish Sergeant Brett Norfleet the best in this new season of life. Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you. Well, I've known you for a while now. And what I noticed about you is that you are always pleasant. You always have a smile. And I got to know you even better when I attended your church. I didn't know you were a minister. And you did baptize your brother. And so with that, I say that keep on serving the Lord. Even when you retire, give him more of your time. Do what you have been doing with the church and continue to do what is right.
Yes, ma'am.
And God will continue to bless you. I wish you the best. I'm going to miss you, man. You the only one be smiling every time I come up here. How you doing, Sister Smith? Doing all right, Councilman Smith? He always has a smile and a hello. Thank you so much for serving 30 years. You've done a great job.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Councilman Lovato, I'm sorry, McLaughlin, excuse me.
know how you get the two confused. Sorry. You about made me cry. I don't know if you remember when we first met. I was a loss prevention manager at Parksville. And when you were working that area, there were very few of the police officers from back then left with the department, and there's probably a few more behind you getting ready to retire. But there were some pretty scary situations for somebody that didn't carry a badge, and you always made me feel at ease and let me know everything was going to be fine. And I appreciate the friendship that we've developed over the years. And I will always remember when your parents ran the Busy Bee on Crossland Avenue. And that's a Clarksville tradition, much like your family serving in law enforcement. I just wish the best for you and your family in your time of retirement. And my husband will be joining you in a couple years, and maybe you can keep him busy so he doesn't drive us all crazy.
Yes,
Thank you.
That's a tall order, Sergeant Norfleet. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to pick on you up here, I promise. I know that's what we usually do with one another, but I've known you for over 20 years, and I mean, know you remember when we first met back when your son was tiny, and now he's full grown. But you know, I think the world of you, and I'm so excited for you, but I will miss you as well. But I wish you all the best. Go out and enjoy everything that you've wanted to do that you haven't been able to do for the last 30 years. And thank you so much for your service. And I'll miss having you to pick on. I have to admit that. So
I'll let soon to be Captain Gill take that role.
I'm not picking on him. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Councilman Shekinah, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say congratulations there, Sergeant Norfleet. Job well done, and I'll treat you to Johnny's to a big burger or something one day.
That'll work.
Thanks. Be blessed.
Doesn't hurt that Zach works there. All right. Councilman Brown, you're recognized.
Well, of course, you know, Brett, we go back a ways too, and I'll see you Sunday at church.
That's right.
And, you know, everybody else that says you're gonna miss him, you're more than welcome to come visit us at church at Redemption
Attaboy.
Church on
That'll
Dunbar
come
Cave
in
Road.
there.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comment or question before I come back to the chairman? In the
you.
spirit, well, hang on a minute. I'm not, you're not retired yet, sir.
No, sir.
All right, okay. In the spirit of what you've heard tonight, there's a verse in the Bible that I want to read that accurately reflects you, Brett Norfleet. Colossians 4:6 says, "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person." You've always done that. You're a fine gentleman and a better police officer, and you'll be a better citizen, and we'll be a better community because of your service. So thank you very
Thanks,
much.
sir.
Now, Chairman Lovato, I was out of order by usurping your report, so now you are recognized.
Just don't let it happen again.
Okay.
We,
All right.
sorry.
Got to feed this group. Let's feed this group.
We, excuse me, we actually have two more retirements. Sergeant Johnny Ranzel and Public Safety Equipment Installer Dave Benson. We have some promotions. We are promoting to Deputy Chief Daniel Lane, to Captain Charles Gill, who is, they just love to walk out when I'm about to say them. To Captain Eric Ewing, to Lieutenant Stephen Hurt, to Lieutenant Rodney Livesey, to Sergeant Jason Hankins, to Sergeant Jennifer Binkley, to Sergeant Adam Price, to Sergeant Victoria Crosby, and to Sergeant Mather Roderer. And then going, congratulations, sir, on your promotion. We appreciate you. And last, but certainly not least, Clarksville Fire and Rescue. Let's see, the CFR is in the interview process, interviewing 100 candidates this week for the 15 current vacant positions. The new station 6 is now occupied and began taking calls on Tuesday. This district station will house the district chief, ladder 6, rescue 6, and the technical rescue squad. CFR is partnering with APSU basketball over the next month to help with their community service project, and the team will be on site to wash fire trucks and equipment. And that concludes my report, sir.
All right, thank you. Any comment or question regarding this committee report? Thank you. We're now ready for Transportation Streets Garage Committee. Chairman Smith, you're recognized.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. The TSG reports are as follows. I will start with the transportation. Transported for the month of May, a total of 41,682 riders. Also, on the fixed routes, they transported 37,875 riders, which includes 8,427 seniors who rode free. On the paratransit routes, there was 3,807 riders. That concludes that report. We'll move on now to the street department. The street department had a total of 402 work orders for the month of May, a total of 372 debris pickups. Now, sidewalks projects will continue in June for Hazelwood. It is 40% completed. Ringo Road is 70% completed. That completes that report. And we'll move on to the city garage. The city garage total work orders total 436. They had a total number of mechanic work orders, hours of 1,467.55. Let's see, fuel purchased at the city garage for on-site fuel. For unleaded, the total cost was $72,803.52 for total gallons of 32,311. For diesel, the cost was $26,574. The diesel gallons total 11,955 gallons. Fuel cost for unleaded was $2.27 per gallon, and the last delivery was May 27, 2025. That was an increase of 1.8% from $2.23 on April the 30th. Okay. Fuel for diesel cost was $2.18 per gallon. The last delivery was May of 2028. There was a decrease of 5.2% from $2.30 on April the 28th. The next TSG meeting will be held on June the 10th at 3:30. This concludes my reports.
All right, thank you. Any comment or question regarding this committee report? Seeing none, we have a very svelte ordinance under new business, and I will recognize the sponsor. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Ordinance 82, 2024, 25, first reading. An ordinance rescheduling the July 2025 regular session meeting of the City Council. This is just moving it from July 3rd instead until July 1st at 6 p.m. here in the City Council chambers. I make a motion for approval.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of ordinance 82. Any comment or question regarding this ordinance? Councilman Smith, you
Yes, ma'am.
recognize.
Thank you. Will this be a temporary move, or this will be consistent every year?
Just this year.
Oh, this year. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comment or question? Councilman Brown, you recognized.
Yes, since this is the first reading, wouldn't the second reading be on that date?
Well, we've got a few special sessions coming up, so you may
we
see it
can
on
add
one of them.
To one of those special
Yes,
sessions. All right, thank you.
But good point. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, any more comment or question regarding this svelte ordinance?
Mayor?
Yes.
I would like to just add one thing, that one of the main reasons we are also changing this is because we do have a very exciting event that'll be held over at Liberty Park that our Parks and Recreation Department is going to be putting on, with lots of fun fireworks and food and everything. So hopefully everybody will be there, and allows all of us to go as well.
All right, be there, be square. Starts at 5 o'clock on July the 3rd. Any comment or question regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
12 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 82 is passed, first reading. We're now ready for mayor and council member comments. Councilman McLaughlin, you're recognized for comments.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank the Restoring Clarksville Initiative Task Force and the Communications Department for getting a landing page explaining what the Restoring Clarksville initiative is and how people can report cases related to that initiative. It's on the City of Clarksville website under Restoring Clarksville Initiative. And just to highlight what's been accomplished in the first 4 months with partnership between the police department and building and codes, some long-standing vacant structures that have been headquarters for crimes in our neighborhoods have been demolished at the owner's expenses. All 4 properties are located between Boot Hill and State Line Road along Fort Campbell and Providence Boulevards. So first of all, if they're gone, they're no longer a place for crime to occur. And second, they were done at the property owner's expense and not the taxpayers. The next thing that was discussed at our last meeting is that through Deputy Chief Thornton and Bob at Building and Codes, I've identified some longstanding vacant houses and buildings in our city, across the city, that have had a lot of calls for service from law enforcement for things that are not productive to our community. And so they're working on a list on identifying by priority for calls of service, how to identify those, work with the property owners to try to get those issues resolved and make our city safer. And then one other thing, this past weekend in Murfreesboro was the lineman rodeo, and CD Light Band had 1 senior lineman and 10 apprentices participate, and they won several awards and represented us very well. They've had a lot of practice in bucket trucks and whatnot with all the weather we've had in the last year or so. But in the senior division, first place, representing CD Light Band, was Senior Hurtman Rescue. Exhibition was Scott Deese, and 4th overall was Scott Deese for the whole category. In the apprenticeship division, first place overall apprentice was Jacob Stewart. Second place overall apprentice, Dylan Vincent. First place pole top installer changeout, Dylan Vincent. Second place top pole installer changeout, Jacob Stewart. Third place apprentice Herman Rescue was Dylan Vincent. And second place in apprentice fuse cutout relocation was Dylan Vincent. And CD just wanted to extend congratulations to all the competitors: Scott Deese, Chad Ward, Dylan Vincent, Jacob Stewart, Kenneth Hogan, Landon Bailey, Landon Gentry, Luke Campy, Parker Fields, Sean Callahan, and Zachary Tucker. So they represented us well, and hopefully they don't have a lot of practice in the next coming months from weather. And that concludes all of my reports. Thank you.
All right, let's give them a round of applause if we would, please. Give and live till you climbed a 100-foot pole and the wind's blowing. No, thank you. All right, thank you. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized for comments.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to take a moment to recognize the street department. Here in the last couple of weeks, there was an EF0, I think that's how EFO tornado that touched down out in the Sango area. And somehow, thankfully, there wasn't any substantial damage to homes. There wasn't any injuries that were sustained, but there was a lot of mature trees that were taken down in the area. And I've had a lot of compliments from people that live in the area on the street department for their help in getting that debris and everything cleaned up. I know it's been a lot of work on the residents, and I know it's been a lot of work on the street department, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to pass forward those compliments to the street department and the thank yous from them, as well as myself, for helping to get that area cleaned up. And again, just thankful that that was the only damage that was sustained. And I can also give a thank you to CDE because they had to come out there and check different limbs and everything with the lines that were out there. So big thank you to all for taking care of those neighborhoods over there that were affected by it.
Thank you. Councilman Haywood, you're recognized.
I see the firefighters in the audience. I want to thank you guys for everything that you do for the city as well. Thank you.
Thank you. That completes our business. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Without objection, we are adjourned.